could rearrange it and fit 150. Like, are you serious? Like, don't put it in the middle of the dishwasher. Like, put it to the side.
This one can go to the, yep.
And I'm like, oh,
I
my
don't start
God.
rearranging.
Did you ever play fucking Tetris, guy?
I don't start rearranging until I want to put more stuff in there, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
so I'll even rearrange my own shit that I put in there, like just to fit more shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not too psycho about it. But like today, I was just like, no, you're fucking going in there. I know you're not going to get washed, but you're fucking going in there. I'll deal with you tomorrow. But it was so satisfying when I closed the dishwasher and I looked up and there was like no dishes in the sink. I was like, yes.
Awesome.
That feels great. Oh, gosh. But so to my week. So, you know, I want to bring up a topic that to me has always been an issue, especially with having and I'm not sure, and you can help me with this. I'm not sure if it has to do so much. I mean, our kids are both 2 years apart, but I'm not sure because they're the same gender that they have this issue. But like, and I feel like it's always a younger kid thing. So the younger kid, regardless of gender, wants to always do whatever the older one is doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, they get to do this. Why can't I do it? That has always been an ongoing issue. But like recently, and to bring up what happened was Liam got asked by another mom to come have a play date early in the morning. And I agreed. Now, she didn't ask she knows I have 2 kids. I mean, there's no, you know what I mean?
Right.
She didn't ask for both kids to come over. She asked for just Liam, you know? And I understood this, you know what I mean? Because her kid, who's the same age, wants to hang out with him.
Right.
And it gets to a point where, I mean, there's been some instances where, like years ago, where I wouldn't do things because I knew they both couldn't do it. But it's like, at what point do you stop that? Because to be honest with you, I'm only depriving Liam of doing something because of his brother, which is kind of fucked up. So I feel like in certain situations, it's not right. And in certain situations, it is. So in this situation, I felt like, you know what? I know this is going to be a fucking shit show, but I'm going to go along with it. So I said, yes, Liam will be at your house at such and such time. You know, my husband will drop him off, Well, what a fucking shit show I went through with Logan here at the house with him. And it's not her fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just the fact that he's just younger and wants to do what he wants to do.
Right.
And I felt bad, you know? So Liam left and then Logan threw a fucking fit about wanting to go because he liked this other friend. You know what I mean? Like they all kind of hang out, you know? So he knows her from before care and after care, and you know what I mean? Like he hangs out with them too, so he like knows of them. Right. And oh my God, girl. Oh. Where's Liam? When's he coming back? Well, first he had a meltdown and threw himself on the floor crying that he wanted to go. And then he finally got over that. I was like, let's build this puzzle. Like I really tried to make it a time. I reflected on it and said, all right, this is a time for me and him to hang out. And I thought possibly it would be. You know, we'll build this puzzle together. We'll do this together. Like I try to like set up things. It was only an hour, mind you.
Oh my God.
I know. This sounds like I'm building it up to be like a whole fucking day. It was a fucking hour, people. An hour God. I had to deal with him, okay?
Is a play date even worth it for an hour by the time you drive there and then drive home
they're
and
in the
then
neighborhood.
drive back?
They're literally right. So here it was we dropped him off and then we went to go meet them for breakfast somewhere that was like a half hour away. So there's this thing, Big Steve's Big Deli in Benson. So we were meeting them there. So he got dropped off in the morning to hang out for a good hour before we went there, and then we were all going to meet there for breakfast.
Gotcha.
So for a solid hour in the house, I had to deal with first Logan's meltdown of Liam leaving and not him. And then, like, I distracted him. And sometimes he got real distracted. Like, we built this Christmas puzzle I found. And just fucking random shit that I, like, distracted him with. But no. Every fucking 10 minutes. Where's Liam? So when is he coming back? Is he driving there with them? We're going to meet them there? At what time are we going to meet them there exactly? How long does it take to get there? So will I see Liam in an hour? I was just like, towards the end of it, I'm like, this wasn't worth it. I'm sorry, Liam. It was...
Right.
You're staying home next time. But again, fast forward the next day, and there was something that Liam wanted to do that Logan couldn't. And I had just, when you get to your breaking point and you're just like, I have fucking had it. Like, Logan was going at it all day. And I finally turned to him. And I felt bad saying this, but it's true. And I said to him, listen, there are things in life, as you go through life, not that he's going to retain this at all. It's right. Like, whatever, in one ear, out the other. But I said to him, I said, there are things in life. Made you make better to say it. Made you feel better to say it. That Liam's going to be able to do and you're not. I said, it's always going to be like that. I'm like, you were born second. So Liam's going to be able to get a phone before you, drive a car before you. There's going to be plenty of things that Liam can do that you can't just yet. So get over it. I felt so bad. I really did. I felt bad for the kid. I mean, any second kid, middle child, whatever it is, you're just always in competition, Right. And I'm trying to have heart with him and understand him. But there just gets to a breaking point where it's just like, I feel like you need to just give it to them straight. Like, this is the way it fucking is. Fucking deal with it. Like, I don't know what else to do.
And Liam's also going to move out before you, and you won't see him in an hour.
You never know as they get older. You never know. But, like, I just feel like, what do you do in those situations? Like, and again, like I said, in the beginning I try, and I have been for years. Like, I always try to compromise, like what Liam's doing with Logan, and I try to always like make sure I have things planned with Logan when things like this happen. Like in the beginning, it was always, so Logan's always a handful, especially with bedtime. So like with my parents, it was always like, well, Liam can sleep over, but Logan, no. You know what I mean? So it was always like, oh, okay. And I can't blame them. It is what it is.
Right.
And so I always had to try to like, and I would always compensate with it. And he was young enough not to really understand so much. But he's totally getting to the point where like he's totally understanding. Like I try to tell my like grandparents and everyone else, like, you can't give Liam something and not Logan. But there are some instances, unfortunately, where Liam might get something and you don't, Logan. Like, you need to realize that, know? I feel like it's just a very fine line of trying to keep the balances in check, because the struggle is real, girl. It is fucking real. Now, do you have this issue at all with, like, Liam and Arya? Or do they have, like, totally, like, two kind of different sets of friends that they don't really like argue about?
I mean, I guess like when one goes to like their friend's house, like the other, like if like Arya goes to her friend's house, Logan would be like, well, why does she get to go to her friend's house? And then if like Logan is doing something, it's like, well, why does Logan get to, like, so it's like sometimes you're going to be the one doing something and sometimes you're not going to be the one doing something. But actually Arya is the one who leaves the house. I mean, other than Logan going to my mom's house, like he does, like, I don't really know, I guess, like his friends from like school that well enough, like where he's like going to their houses. And I guess like I know the moms better of like Arya's friends, so Arya will go out like to other people's houses more often, whereas Logan will go to my mom's house more often. So it's like kind of, but I feel like situations like that, it's like if you don't do it, they'll never get used to it. Yeah. And the longer, I guess, like you wait to do it, the harder it will be for them to, like, eventually it will just be like the normal. Yeah. Like Logan will eventually, maybe in another year or so, he might be going off to somebody's house and Liam might be like, well, he's going up. Well, remember when you, like, it kind of goes, both ways. Sometimes you're going to be the one doing something and your brother is not. And sometimes your brother's going to be the one doing something and you're not. But I guess, like, you haven't really had that, chance for Logan to do something where Liam's not doing it.
No. So and that's what it is. And because that's what, like, especially, like, when all of our, like, outdoor kind of, like, like, activities with other people have always been, like, we're all friends. You know what I mean? And, like, Logan's usually, like, does things with them too, you know what I mean? So it's always been like a together thing,
right?
I don't know
exactly,
but
yeah, I feel like it's kind of one of those things where you kind of, they're at the age where they're definitely going to start doing other things with without the other one.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, you just have to jump in at some, like, it might be frustrating in the beginning, but the more maybe like it happens, the less like, oh my God, what is happening reaction, the other one is going to give.
But like, even when they go in the neighborhood, like I will let them go down the road to their friend's house, which is like 3 houses down. And like Logan will want to go sometimes. And I feel like it's good for Logan. He needs to get outside too,
Right.
And unfortunately it's Liam's problem. I'm like, look out for your brother.
Well, that's kind of like when I was growing up, I had an older sister and I was the younger one. So it was like I always wanted to do what my older sister was doing. And sometimes Mom would be like, well, she's going and doing her own thing. And sometimes it would be, well, Denise, you need to take Christina with you. And she'd be like, I don't want. So
and you don't want them to resent you. Yeah,
exactly. It's very similar. Like when you're talking
such
about
a fine
that,
line.
That's how I remember growing up.
But
luckily they are both boys, so it's not like
totally crazy. Yeah,
like one's a girl. Like
I mean, they
Ari and
totally.
Logan.
I have to say, for the most part, I mean, just like anyone else would say, they get together. They get together. They get together well.
Get along well.
Get along well. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Get along pretty well for the most part, and they have their moments,
right.
Which is so funny because one of the girls, I'm having an issue with my kids getting picked up on time, and me and Tim trying to figure out our schedule and trying to get them on time.
Right.
And I was like just talking to the girl at work about it, and she was like, "Well, why don't you just get cameras in the house and they can just like walk home from school?" Right. I'm like, no. I'm like, they're 6 and 8. Now she doesn't have children. Not that means anything, but still, she doesn't have children, and I'm just like, there's no way I would let my 6 and 8-year-old come home on their own.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but you have cameras, you can see them. I'm like, no. I'm like, they'll kill each other.
They'll murder each other.
Yes,
before I get
they
home.
will.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I have cameras.
I feel like at 6 and 8, they don't really know the extent.
And especially if like as far as like one is Liam's older, like I'm in charge.
Yep.
Like you're not the boss of me.
God. And Logan will attack Liam, and Liam won't want to hurt him. So it's just bad fucking news. So case in point, so this happened today. So tonight, as Christina walked through the door, we told the kids to go upstairs and brush their teeth. Within 3 minutes, they're both screaming, "He's trying to kill me! He hit me!" And I'm like, this is the perfect fucking example of why I cannot trust these children to be home on their own just yet.
It's like, it's ridiculous. Like even with my kids, I always say they are either the best of friends and they're sitting side by side, playing a game together, laughing, joking, getting along, or they are worst enemies. And it flips in it like the drop of a hat, it will flip. And there is no middle ground whatsoever. Like they could be like holding hands singing Kumbaya, and that somebody looks at the other one the wrong way.
Yep.
Why did you look at me like that?
He's looking at me. It's so fucking true.
Oh God!
All right, let's get into our WTF moment of the week. Let's do it.
Let's do it. What the
fuck did you just
What the
do?
fuck did I just see?
What the fuck did you just say to me? All right, Christina, what made you just shake your head and say, "What the fuck?"
Oh boy. Okay.
What the fuck?
Still, what the fuck is on me this week?
Oh,
okay.
Interesting
So,
already.
I know we kind of like just finished the communion talk a few months ago.
Like a month ago, yep.
So now that Logan is done with his communion, it is time for Aria to make her communion. So she's got to go to the classes, 2-year class, yada, yada, yada. For the last 2 years, I have signed Logan up in the month of August. Okay, no problem. Sign him up. He goes to class, da-da-da, bada bing, bada boom, and he does the thing. Okay, so now it's Aria's turn. It is still July. I called 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I left a message because naturally nobody answered the phone. And I'm like, it's time for my daughter to take her catechism classes. I said, my son just made his communion there last May. I'm like, but I kind of forgot the process of signing up. If someone can just give me a call back, let me know, yada, yada, whatever. So they called me back last week, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry to tell you, but the classes are all full. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
what?